Welcome to this video on writing a patriotic speech for the Saddle Mountain Unified School District Patriotic Speech Contest. I hope you'll find this useful to your speech writing. So you've decided to enter the Patriotic Speech Contest. Maybe you haven't even started yet, but hey, it is not too late. In this video, I'm going to try to give you a little help with some suggestions on how to get going on your speech, how to write it, and a few tips on presentation. First of all, getting organized and getting started with writing your speech. Have you picked your quote? If not, go through those quotes, find one that you understand. Don't pick one that seems so difficult that you don't know what it means. Pick one that you understand, that says something to you, that makes sense to you. One that you get easily, that you understand right away. Okay, so you've got that quote. Now, as you look at that quote and you read through it, there are certain words that seem more important than others. Focus on those words, underline them, pull those words out. What are the key words in the quote? That helps you get the overall meaning of the quote, because remember, one of the paragraphs of your speech is to explain the meaning of the quote. I would suggest to you that that is paragraph 3. So maybe you've got a sheet of paper in front of you, or you've got the computer in front of you, and you're going to just sit down and you're going to try to explain what those key words mean, what the quote means, and that's paragraph 3. So if that's paragraph 3, what's paragraph 2? Well, maybe paragraph 2 is, who's the author of the quote? Okay? Who was John F. Kennedy? Who was Harry Truman? Who was Jimmy Carter? Who was Thomas Jefferson? Who was Abraham Lincoln? And when did he say this quote? Or when did she say the quote, if you're writing about the Margaret Mead quote? So maybe you go online and you type that quote in and you find out a little background about the quote. When was the quote said? So now you start to just sit down again with that sheet of paper, or you sit down with that computer and you start saying, okay, Abraham Lincoln was the 16th president, or George Washington was the first president, or Thomas Jefferson was the 3rd president, or Margaret Mead was a famous anthropologist, or Benjamin Franklin was one of the founding fathers, a famous inventor and a statesman and a writer, or Winston Churchill was a British Prime Minister. Now you're working on paragraph 2. You're looking for, remember, 5 paragraphs. But the first one is the introduction, the last one is the conclusion. I'm suggesting paragraph 2 is who was the author of the quote. Paragraph 3 is the meaning. Now what's paragraph 4? Paragraph 4 is you are relating that quote and its meaning, which you've explained in paragraph 3. Now in paragraph 4, you're relating that quote to you as a person, you as a student. Maybe it's relating it to your present life. Maybe you're looking into the future and saying, oh, when I'm 18 or when I'm 25, how will this relate to me? When I'm a citizen and I can vote, how will this relate to me? So that you're thinking now, how does this quote impact my life? Or how will it impact my life in the future? That's paragraph 4. Once you've figured out those paragraphs, then you can go ahead and write an introduction. Then you can go ahead and write a conclusion in which you tell the audience, I've told you about the author of the quote, I've told you about the meaning of the quote, and I've told you how the quote relates to me. Remember, a conclusion summarizes what you've said. So that's your 5-paragraph speech. Introduction, who, what they've said, what it means, how it applies to you, and then you tell us what you've said. 5 paragraphs, probably 2 typed pages, double spaced. The font is 12, maybe it's Times Roman or Arial. That's 4 to 5 minutes easily. Now, I'm going to stand up and show you a couple things about presentation.